Alright, so a quick guide on breeding perfect pals in Tides of Terraria. So with step 1, you want to collect the different passives that you want. So the best option for getting the rainbow passives right now is fishing. You can fish for these sort of green sparkles and you have a guaranteed rainbow passive. Other options, like for raid pals, you have Dr. Brawn gambling or just catching and hatching and hoping for a mutation. Step 2 is to then mix these two passives together, so you will take any sort of pal you have with the rainbow passive and the second pal with the second rainbow passive and breed together and you'll get one random pal. Then for step 3, you want to check a breeding calculator and see how you can chain this pal into the pal that you actually want with these passives on it. Then there's an optional step here to do the same thing, but with a breeding exclusive attack. So in this example, we are going for windage on this Bushi. So then we do the same thing, we check what pal has windage on it naturally, and we start a breeding chain to get that windage onto a Bushi. So what you will end up with here is your desired pal with the rainbow passives that you want, and then some random passives that you can mix and match in the surgery table. So what I like to do is add Philanthropist and Nocturnal to speed up the breeding process, and then once the perfect pal is finished breeding, I swap these to something like Musclehead and Serenity in the pal surgery station. Once your desired pal is born, you want to max the potential, also called IVs. So the ways you can do this is by either going out and doing the same thing you did with the rainbow passives, with catching pals with 100 IV, crossbreeding them and then chaining them to the desired pal. But a much easier method is to use the IV fruits that you can get from Dogcoin merchants, or you can do raids. Moonlord particularly is a very good one for that. Then we also have the trust mechanic, so peaches farmed from enemy bases. You need 10 peaches per pal to reach 10 trust, or you can just have them in your party for around 33 hours and they will also reach that 10 trust. And then we have the condensing. So on your way to getting your pal, you'll probably end up with around 2 to 3 stars, and then you can just keep on breeding until you have that 4-star pal. One of the most important aspects of a maxed out pal is the pal souls. There are a couple of different methods for getting pal souls. The best one is the expedition station, but it takes a lot of setup to get to that stage. You also have farming predator pals, which requires a maxed out nightmare, or you can just breed and butcher some of the pals that drop large pal souls. So it's a little bit of a difference in how much time they require to set up versus how efficient they are. So then what you end up with here is these rainbow passives. You can add the Serenity and Musclehead in the surgery table. You add the IV fruits, the peaches, and then you level up with whatever leveling method you prefer, either clearing the enemy bases, doing hard mode tower bosses, or just using some leftover training crystals and experience scrolls. One thing to note is that pals have a much greater chance of passing the desired attack if they are level 1, so you want to remove everything that might give experience to a pal when it's in your party before bringing it into your party, switching it at the surgery table, giving it IV fruits or anything like that. And then another good tip is to also keep one copy of the pal you're breeding at level 1 for any sort of future breeding you want to do to pass these attacks a little bit easier. There are a couple of passives that you can't get in the wild, such as Legend, Eternal Flame and stuff like that, which is mainly from alpha bosses or raid bosses or the legends themselves. So you're going to have to go catch those pals individually if you do want those passives on your pals. But that's it for the quick breeding guide. Thanks for watching.